I remember it, but I haven't thought about it in so long. That was a big part of my childhood in Virginia. Perhaps kind of subconsciously, this is what led me to where I am now, because almost all the things that I do now are revolved around discussion, back and forth, productive debate, as opposed to kind of more antagonistic debating. Now that I think about it, that's probably something I started picking up a lot at iSchool for the Future. Remember that there was the laptop that was sitting on a desk and you had to take it apart and rebuild it. It was a very natural way of education that I think taught me to learn through just kind of playing around with things and trial and error and getting kind of used to it, because working with the laptop was very, very frustrating when you first started. I think that did definitely help me get a sense of just kind of that learning isn't necessarily just being taught what to do, but that you can figure out things on your own if you just kind of play around with a little bit. It definitely re-emphasized the importance of not just working within a team, but how to work within a team. But it was so centered in so many iSchool activities. All the building projects, for example, those were all within a group. We had to work together. We had to devise a strategy. We had to do all these things. If we were working on a presentation, we have to learn to divide the work. I think, again, that sort of early exposure to it helped a lot, because that's preparing you for what the world is actually like. You're learning how things work naturally. You don't need a teacher to explain the processes of history to you. You've now understood, based on a personal experience, why history unfolds the way it does and why international relations unfolds the way it does. A teacher could have told that to you to your face and it would mean nothing to you. Or you could have figured out that by being in a simulation where you understand why that's necessary, and that's actually ingrained into you the mindset of how this happens. And those sorts of activities are the building blocks of building the kind of critical thinking that you're going to need. Now,
The solution, well, my app has it, no other app has. A split screen app that can do a split screen for everything on your device.
The biggest thing I took away was the ability to speak publicly, to be able to defend my opinion, to present ideas. That became such a big part of the field that I study, all the different opportunities that I do, especially now as I'm kind of entering into my adult life. I'm only 19, but my young adult life. And I find myself being on bigger and bigger stages, now on the biggest news channel in the Arab world. And I'm now being asked to defend my opinion and share what I think, have evidence to back it up, understand these processes, and also have to look for jobs and explain to people why I think that I'm the most qualified candidate, and be able to come up with unique, creative ideas, which is something that was stressed a lot at iSchool. I think it becomes more important the older I get, essentially. As I'm getting further into my adult life, it's making more and more sense. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to participate in that. I guess I'm kind of on board either way, but I think it's just a question of ironing down what that looks like for me, kind of, abroad in the Middle East. But I'm absolutely on board. I'm sure my mom and my family would love it too. She has a lot of fond memories of high school. She might even remember it better than I do, to be honest. I mean, education is the most important social institution in the world. The most important thing for me in terms of raising a student is not just raising a student who knows how to get A's or knows how to memorize, but is a social, productive member of society, is someone who can understand processes, is someone who can work within a team and is actually prepared for the job market, for the world that we live in, is prepared to interact with other people, to be fully emotionally developed humans. That I think is the hallmark of someone who has had a successful education. iSchool is basically just that on a whole nother level because that's its explicit goal is to provide that more holistic look that goes beyond just the pure academic, but is actually trying to develop the student.